I think one of the ways we all like to try and capture winter is to get out on a beautiful, crisp, clear, sunny day like today and take a few photos. And I'm going to show you how, with a few edits, you can make those photographs into images that will transfer onto fabric and paper and wood and all sorts of surfaces. Right, I'm going to carry on walking. For a photo that will transfer well with an inkjet or laser printer, you want a black and white image with high contrast. This is the same tree but photographed on a cloudier day, so I can show you how to tweak the settings. I'm using my iPad and Apple's own photo editor. First of all, you want to crop it, and if you want to maintain the proportions, you just need to pinch out and it will fill that shape. And then the first thing I would do is go to the saturation setting and put that on the lowest setting, which is I think -100, just to take away the colour. I then go to brightness and increase that to 100. And then after that, the contrast, and again, increase it right up. And I'm trying to get more of the background cloud sort of reduced. So the shadows, I reduce those to -100 and put the highlights on +100. So we're pretty much there, but there are some built-in filters that might sharpen up the image a little bit more. So if you go through and look, and I decided I think the bottom one, noir, gave you the most contrast in an image. So that will now be suitable to print out. So now I'm going to show you how you can do the same process on Photoshop Express, which is a free app and you can use it on any device. And I'm going to do very similar settings. I've put the saturation to -100 to get rid of the colour. And then I think I used whites instead of highlights, but they're pretty similar settings. And I increased that to 100 and reduced the shadows to -100 and then increased the contrast up to 100. All the while I'm trying to smooth out the grayscale to make it a more black and white image. And it's only now that I crop it. It doesn't really matter when in the process you do it. I then decided to play with some of the other settings, and this is always worth doing. You've got things like dehaze, texture, clarity, and you can just go up and down the scale like I am here and see if that improves your image and gives you a better contrast. And then once I'd finished with all these settings, I actually used one of the filters that are inbuilt with this app to make it into a black and white image. And because we've already done those other settings, you're going to get a much clearer contrast, which is what we want for a good transfer. And then all you need to do is save it. There's that arrow in the top right hand corner, that will save it to your device. And then thirdly and lastly, I'm going to use Lightroom on my phone. Again, this is a free app. And it's got quite a few functions, so this time I'm cropping it first. I just want to get rid of any foreground. And then under the colour setting, I go to black and white, and I'm doing similar things. So I'm increasing the contrast to 100, along with the highlights and the whites. And then I'm reducing the shadows to -100. And then when you're done, again, you can just save it to your device. So you're getting the picture by now. It's pretty easy to adjust these settings. When you then print it out, you're going to get the clearest difference between the black and the white, which is always a good start for when you're doing any sort of transfer. And in the next video, I will show you all the exciting processes that I'm doing with them, which involved jelly plates, a thermofax printer, and even some embroidery. And in the meantime, if you want to capture winter in other ways, I've got a series of videos and I'll link the playlist at the end, so have a look at those as well. Otherwise, join me for my next video.